reason I'm recording this now at, nearly 9 o'clock at night, on the way back from the airport, thank you to my darling wife for holding the phone so that I'm not breaking the law, is basically I think you might be missing an opportunity, and I don't want you to. I don't want you to miss the opportunity amongst all of this. Now, I'm not talking about the medical stuff. I don't know anything about medical stuff, and I don't profess to. So what I want to talk about, though, is the opportunity that I really want you to see in the coronavirus panic and pandemonium, and that is the opportunity for you to be different, to think differently perhaps, and to avoid getting swept up in the herd. Because while we are social creatures and tribal animals, sometimes we can get a little swept up in where everyone else is headed, and often we trample over or past things that could have been really good for us and our families and our communities. And I'm seeing some people who are already doing this. They're thinking a little differently and perhaps being a little more positive and responding rather than reacting. And I really want that for you too. I think there is going to be a lot more come out of this in the coming days and weeks and months. I know my daughter has had her school camp cancelled. She's had a whole 2-week program of dance and stuff at the school cancelled because one of the teachers might have had coronavirus, and that's the responsible thing to do, and the authorities and our organisations have to do what's best for everybody. And unfortunately that creates a lot of disruption. Maybe you've got kids at home at the moment, maybe you might down the track, and be that as it may, to buy into and get swept up in the negativity and the fear about toilet paper and hand sanitizer and everything else, I think really just stampedes past some other opportunities. And some of those opportunities will be in your business. They will be in not speaking the same negativity and fear as everybody else just because they're doing it, and not sticking your head in the sand and being in denial. I know I was probably shrugging it off and being perhaps a little flippant about the whole thing a few weeks ago, and I've had to adjust my course on that, and I've chosen to probably dig a little deeper. But the reality is that we're all going to be affected by this, and my personal opinion is that the biggest impact will be financially and economically to our country, our communities, our own businesses and our families, and that's the opportunity that I think exists for you and I and Coxie, of course, in telling a different story, in looking for the positivity in all of this. There's been some amazing stories of people already changing the way they do business, and even looking at things like family being locked down at home as an opportunity to reconnect with kids and loved ones. I listened to a fantastic podcast just yesterday, I think it was, about that exactly, where it's a hassle and it's a disruption, and yet when was the last time you had your whole family home on a Thursday? And there's a lot of stress that comes out of that, but I think we can choose to focus on the stress and the worry and the negative things and spiral downwards with that and probably make the whole situation worse. Or perhaps we can accept that that's part of it and also seek some of the balance to all of that. I know Coxie and I will be putting out lots of material in the next few weeks to help you with that, to help you with Headspace. We've got a web class series that we're putting together at the moment around not just how to survive the economic impact of COVID-19. What does COVID actually even mean? I don't know. Maybe someone out there smarter than me actually knows where that all comes from. But
it's the first two letters of corona and the first two of virus.
Oh, what's the D for? My beautiful wife is chiming in here with some intelligence. Anyway, so this weird thing, coronavirus. They should have named it after Forex, because I reckon Forex is way worse than Corona. But anyway, where was I? I was talking about I don't want you to miss this opportunity. And Coxie and I are putting together a series of little web sessions with some things we think you can put in place that will help you not just to survive, not just to get by, not just to avoid all the pain and the suffering and the loss and the financial stress and the downturn in your business, but to actually do a couple of other things. One is to prep, not for doomsday, but to prep for the turnaround, for the bounce back, for the comeback. Now's when you should actually be getting ready in your business to, when people do start coming back to their wallets and their bank accounts and doing the things around their home, whether that's landscaping or glazing or re-roofing or building or extending or whatever it might be, because people will come back to that, as we always do after all of these crises and financial collapses. And if you're prepared for that, you'll be able to act more quickly when that change does happen, instead of getting left off the back of the wave and missing out, because you won't be the first business that they think of or ring, because you didn't have all of your fundamental marketing strategies in place. You weren't communicating with your clients. You weren't keeping them informed. You want to be doing all those things so that when this does change, you're ready for that change. Just like a lot of us haven't been ready for this change with the way this virus has swept across the globe and the way people have reacted, governments have reacted quite dramatically. And so I want you to be ready for the change, the positive change, so that you can take advantage of that and, claw back some of the losses you might experience in the next month or three. And the other thing I want you to do is something I saw businesses that I worked with and were lucky enough to hang around through the global financial crisis back in the mid to late 2000s. That was when I started my business, was just as the GFC hit Australia, which was great timing. And in actual fact, it was great timing, because there were a lot of people who still managed to thrive in that environment, because they chose to see the opportunities. Now, did they have to change the way they ran their businesses? Absolutely. Did they have to rethink some of their strategies and where they spent their money and their time? Definitely. And this is what I want to really have you hear, and it's why I'm doing this as I drive home after being away for a few days. And I guess, wife and I have been in and out of a couple of airports, and there's people sort of getting aggressive about others wearing masks and all sorts of crazy stuff. And I just think there's some other opportunities here, and not just business either. I think there's an opportunity for you to really lead your family and your community and your trade in humanity, getting back to being human. What does it actually mean to be human? We're in business, we've got customers, we have to do marketing and make sure we're tracking our finances properly and being responsible and wise in those ways. But what about how we react and respond to those around us? People coming to our country, and people who are stranded here from overseas, people who have been overseas for various reasons that are in quarantine or self-quarantine or whatever the latest advice is. I think, you know, there's plenty of hate in the world. There has been for a long time, and maybe this is an opportunity for you to do something different and be a catalyst for change in that way as well. Anyway, I have had a lot of thoughts about this. I'm reading a fantastic book at the moment that seems to be very timely, despite it being written a year or two ago now. And it does talk about a lot of these principles. If you want to look it up, it's a book called Everything is Fucked by Mark Manson. It's the follow-up book from his first one, which is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And I think there are some fantastic ideas and strategies in there that I know have helped me just to rethink how I think. And look for the opportunities, look for the positivity, not externally even, but within myself. Anyway, I'm getting a bit philosophical. When it comes to your business, just don't think protection, don't think survival. Try not to react out of fear and scarcity in all of this, because things will improve. It's only a matter of time. It's happened before. The human race has been through things maybe not as dramatic as this before, but certainly been through some pretty horrendous global events and catastrophes, and we always come back. And I just want you to be ready for when that happens. So this is Woz signing off. Going to finish the drive home, and very much look forward to sleeping on my own mattress, because while Airbnb is awesome, man, there are some crap beds out there. Anyway, thanks for listening. I really wanted to get this to you, and I hope to hear from you in our community soon. So keep educating yourself, stay positive, and look for the opportunities. Thanks.